Alright, we are solving percent problems. This is 4.4. To solve percent problems, we are going to write the percent as a decimal or a fraction, then multiply it by the whole number. So the percent times the whole number equals the part. That looks like this. If we are given a percent, we multiply by the whole number, and that equals what part of it that is. So an example, 25% of 60 is what number? So we're going to take 25%, write it as a decimal. That's what it says first, write it as a decimal. So we get 0.25 by moving our decimal 2 places to the left. Then we do 0.25 times 60. And if I do the math, that equals 15. So 15 is 25% of 60. We could say 25% of 60 is 15. Now if I have 5% of 70, I'm going to do the same thing. I write 5% as a decimal, move it 2 spots to the left, and I get 0.05. Then I'm going to do 0.05 times 70, putting it into this. And after doing that multiplication, you get 3.5. Make sure that when you are putting your decimal in your product, your answer, you move it 2 spots to the left because we had 2 decimal places from 0.05. If I want to do 13% of 45, 13% written as a decimal is 0.13. Then I have 0.13 times 45, and you can see that worked out, is 5.85. So that is if we are given a percent and a whole number, and we are finding out what is that percentage. Now if we are given a percent and a part, so if we go back up here, at first we were given a percent and a whole. If we are given a percent and a part, that's a little different. I don't multiply anymore. So if we are given a percent and a part, our percent will be written as a fraction or a decimal still, and we are to get the whole number. So we are going to divide the part divided by the percent equals that whole number. So let's do an example. 20% of what number is 28? So in our first ones we had number and number is what. Now our what, our unknown, is in the middle. So first, write 20% as a decimal, that is 0.2, and we are going to do 28 divided by the percent equals the part. So 28 divided by the percent equals the part. And here you would divide the fraction, divide the whole number by the decimal. We would have to move our decimal point on the outside here, move it over 1 spot to the right. That means on the inside you move your decimal 1 spot to the right, and then it goes straight up from there. Then you treat these like they are 2 whole numbers, and your answer will be 140. Here's another example. If I have 55% of what is 33? So this of what means we need to divide to get that number. When you see this, you think divide. Now, 55% written as a decimal is 0.55. I'm going to divide 33 divided by 55% is 60. Doing my long division over here, moving my decimal place 2 spots to the right. That means on the inside, I move it 2 spots to the right, and then it goes straight up. Then I treat these like 2 whole numbers. 55 goes into 330 6 times. 6 times 55 is 330, and then I just have zeros at the end. Now, let's say we have the length of a field is 120% of the width. What is the area? Area is the length times the width. So I know the first thing, before I do anything else, I need to have my percent written as a decimal. You could write it as a fraction and multiply with fractions if you prefer that. But right now we're just doing decimals. So 120% is 1.2. Now, when I see this, I am given a picture with the width is 75, and I don't know the length. I already solved this, so that's there. But we're trying to find the length. So I'm doing 120% of 75. So I'm doing 1.2 times 75 will give me the length. So 1.2 times 75 is 90, and that is the length. So my length is 120% of 75. That's what I'm doing. And now to find the area, I'm doing the length times the width. So I'm taking my length of 90, multiplying by my width of 75, and my answer is 6,550. Oh, that was way off screen, I'm sorry. So, here's the work, 75 times 1.2 to get 90. My length is here. Now 90 times 75 to get the area. And my answer is 6,750. We'd put a unit on here. If the units were yards, we would say it's yards squared. Area has a squared unit on it, and that's all you need to know.